Good day, everyone. My name is Maria Kądzielska, and this is Poland Daily Culture. In this series of programs, I'll be talking to young Polish publicist and freshly baked author Ania Stępniak. Aniu, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Her first book, It's a Displeasure, just appeared in the bookstores. So let's find out what is her story. Aniu, so how does it feel to have your own book in your hands? Baby out of paper and ink.
Thanks for calling it this way. I would say it's a strange feeling to see your name published on the cover and the title, but it was my dream to publish it, and it's a challenge as well, but it's a great feeling.
Already the title is a little bit provoking, bardzo mi niemiło. So in English, it's a displeasure, or displeasure is mine, exactly. Which would be kind of mocking of a popular phrase, it's a pleasure, or bardzo mi miło. Why did you do it?
Well, I have to say, some time ago, I started a blog which is called Bardzo mi miło, which is nice to meet you, or it's a pleasure, right? It's, I would say, another project, another perception of the world, the opposite, which is like my criticism over the reality, the world, everything around us.
From being a good girl, having a blog, bardzo mi miło, it's a pleasure, and just sharing everything with nice about the world, so you decided it's time for some criticism.
So the idea about bardzo mi miło was, okay, the world is bad and there is bad news, so you have to have some positive content to look at, you know, all the bright sides of life. And then I would say, yes, it's still true, and you have to have positive thinking in order not to be, you know, become crazy, but you have to have also certain dose of, I would say, critical thinking and common sense, etc. So I think this would be bardzo mi niemiło.
And to whom is your book addressed?
That's a very good question. I'm not sure that people around my age would really enjoy the book fully. I have a feeling that people slightly older than myself would enjoy it and read it with pleasure. I think it's addressed to just everyone who thinks that we need common sense.
So your main character, Marek, let's start with him, is a person more on the right wing, but with a huge dose of common sense. But he finds himself somewhere in between the left wing and the right wing, on a platform of being rational, I would say, or trying to be objective. And is it the same place where you find yourself as well?
More or less, yes. I mean, I think we are all between those two, I wouldn't call them ideas, just these two huge blocks fighting between each other. And I find it just tiring. I mean, first of all, being between something, and second, I don't think that most people are really right or left. And what I think we lack is this common sense, just this very practical, logical thinking about the reality. But on the other hand, as I also wrote in the book, our problem as humankind is that we are just not thinking rationally. It's just we think, we act without emotions, that we are very practical and logical, but we act exactly the opposite.
And everything is a lot based on our emotions and based on what we feel, yes?
Well, I would say another huge problem is that we are under influence of ideologies, and by that I mean certain movements that tend to I would say, tell us, you know, everything, how to live, from very simple things to huge things. Nowadays, you know, just whenever you, I don't know, do shopping, right? It can be also under some certain ideology. Whatever you say, just simple phrases, or like being polite, like now, I don't know, men kissing women. It's a Polish, I guess.
Or the Christmas are coming and you don't say hey, Merry Christmas, but you say Merry
Happy holidays, right? So I find it also tiring. I think it's just, this book is just for people that just need some relief, just need some pause, I would say.
And what is your main message then? Because the book as itself is a love story on the basis, I would say, or a story of an affair of different people. But it's a kind of excuse, I would say, for lots of things which you want to say about the world, about politics, about society, our relations. So I would say that the plot is not the most important.
Yes, I'm happy that you mentioned relations. It's, I think, one of the most crucial level I try to present. It's how we, I think, more and more have difficulties with starting the relations, initiating them and keeping them, maintaining. Another thing I've noticed is something I also put there in one of the dialogues, I think, is often people, when they speak, they don't really want to listen to what the other person wants to say, and they don't really ask questions. It's more like a dialogue of myself, mine, I, especially I, and then the other person says I, myself, and I find it quite, I would say, dreadful. I mean, is it still a dialogue, or are these just two separate monologues, right?
A little bit true. It's a lot about that. Often it's hard to be a good listener. It's hard to actually listen
because
to
it means effort. You really have to use some energy, you really consume your energy to focus, to concentrate on what another person is saying, and it's especially on very daily relations, like among friends. I think I sometimes wonder, are they still friends really? By what we mean by that, or is it just two people that share, I don't know, very simple things, and they don't really focus on what should be between them. So I think for example, Marek, the main character, that's what I also wanted to underline. His best friend is not in favor of what Marek thinks about politics and reality, but and so they have different opinions. They really argue, I would say, but still they value themselves and they appreciate their friendship. And I think this is great. This is what we lack. You know, sometimes when I go to friends, like I would say about the age of Marek, I'm sorry, but who often read, I don't know, Gazeta Wyborcza, I mean, we talk about some daily stuff, and suddenly there is a political subject, and suddenly the person asks, "Oh, you are young, so tell me what you think." And then I say what I think, and then the person is kind of displeased because he or she didn't expect this answer from a young person, right? I limit myself from what I really think about the world. So this book is the answer, like, hey, this is, I would say, my message, what I think about the world, and it's easy for me to write it down rather than to say it.
If you would like to put in one sentence why people should read it, what would you say?
For this common sense, I would say, if you are tired of daily, news about all the stuff, I should use the bad words right now, so I'm trying to limit myself. But let's call it swamp, right? It's like a swamp. And most of this news is not really related to your daily life. It doesn't have any impact on your life. And yet we get so emotional. I have a friend who told me that his father was watching, I will not mention which TV, was watching some news, and he got some sort of stroke or heart attack. So I think it's something that we should consider, and we should have common sense.
If you feel the lack of common sense and rationality and you are also tired of the fact that you cannot talk about politics with your friends and understand each other without ripping each other's heads apart, then the book It's a Displeasure of Ania Stępniak is for you. And thank you for watching Poland Daily Culture.